Trilochan Sastry level. Professor Trilochan Sastry is a prominent Indian academician and political scientist known for his significant contributions to the field of electoral studies and public policy. He has been an influential figure in shaping the discourse around democratic governance and electoral integrity in India. I invite Professor Trilochan Sastry onto the dais and request Professor Rani to come.
Open voice of sunlight. Open voice of
ISAM has a tradition of memorial lectures, and today is the third in the series, and that is of Professor Thirumalai Perumal Karunakaran, who was born on 26th December 1946 and he passed away on 12th March 2019. He was an Indian engineer, academic, social organizer and reformer who worked on rural development problems in India and other countries. He proposed a model of decentralized development called the Rural Economic Zone as an alternative to the Special Economic Zone model of development. He served as a Vice Chancellor for 2 Gandhian rural universities and served as the Director of the Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization. He also founded the Agri-Indus Institute in Wardha universities, and he was born at Puvankudi Yirappu village of Kanyakumari district of pre-independence India. He received a Bachelor of Engineering in Electrical Engineering from Tyagaraja College of Engineering in 1969. He studied mathematical system theory from the Department of Electrical Engineering at the Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, and where he obtained also his PhD in 75 under Prem Saran Satsangi. Professor Karunakaran served for 19 years in four IITs in different research and academic positions. From 1987 till 1999, Professor Karunakaran was the Director of Rural Technology Center at Gandhigram Rural Institute, Tamil Nadu. He was the Vice Chancellor of Mahatma Gandhi Chitrakoot Gramodaya Vishwavidyalaya in Madhya Pradesh from 1997 to 2000, and returned to GRI in 2004 to serve as the Vice Chancellor. He then became the Director of MGIRI in Wardha from 2008 to 2011. Under his leadership, MGIRI launched solar-powered charkhas to increase the volume and quantity of and quality of yarn for a farming household to produce. This project was adopted and scaled up by the Government of India to provide employment to 1 lakh individuals in 50 sectors. Professor Karunakaran was then the founder director of Agri-Indus Institute until his death in 2019. Agri-Indus trained children, primarily of farmers who had committed suicide, to become entrepreneurs and bring industrial value-added activities to the farm. Professor Karunakaran's work at Agri-Indus built on Gandhian ideas of socio-economic development, including the work-based education principle, known as Nai Talim, and Gandhi's vision of self-reliant, village-centered economics. Karunakaran developed on the latter economic approach into the rural economic zone concept, an alternate model of development. He has inspired dozens of students as a teacher. His son, Dr. Athavan Karunakaran, is present today among us and has generously sponsored the Frugal Initiative program. We thank you so much for that, sir. Thank you. Now, a little bit more about our plenary speaker of the day. Professor Trilochan Sastry pursued B.Tech in electrical engineering from IIT Delhi, where he was a student of Professor Karunakaran. An MBA from IIM Ahmedabad and a PhD in operations research from Massachusetts Institute of Technology, USA. He is a former dean of IIM Bangalore, and a former board member of IIM Bangalore, NABARD, and currently on the board of Nucleus Software Exports. He has held various academic positions, including a professorship at the IIM Bangalore, where he has been focusing on intersection of politics, economics, and society. Professor Shastri is particularly renowned for his work on electoral reforms and analysis of electoral data. He has been instrumental in development of tools and methodologies for studying electoral processes in India, advocating for transparency and accountability within the democratic framework. His expertise has led to advisory roles for the Election Commission of India, where he has contributed to improving the electoral process and promoting free and fair elections. His insights have been vital in shaping policies that enhance voter participation and reduce malpractices in elections. Beyond academia, Professor Shastri is actively involved in public discourse, frequently participating in seminars, workshops, and discussions aimed at promoting electoral literacy and democratic engagement among citizens. He has authored and co-authored numerous research papers and articles that critically analyze the various aspects of Indian democracy, electoral behavior, and policy making. He founded the Center for Collective Development and Farm Veda, two social ventures that establish cooperatives and market branded food products. All profits go to the farmers. CCD has been operational since 2004 and as of 2019 had organized over 25,000 farmers with a focus on marketing and value addition. These farmer producer organizations have grown and made profits since inception without any subsidy. He is also the founder and chairman of the Association for Democratic Reforms, which works on improving elections and politics in India in a non-partisan manner. He has received the Satyendra K. Dubey Memorial Award from IIT Kanpur in 2013 for his contributions to bringing about transparency in public life, Distinguished Alumnus Award from IIT Delhi in 2012, Outstanding Contribution to National Development Award from IIT Delhi Alumni Association in 2005, Best Young Teacher for the year 1999 from the Association of Indian Management Schools. His work for civil society has been recognized and he has received various awards including the CNN IBN, NDTV, Times of India, Indian of the Year. Professor Tilochan Shastri continues to be a leading voice in Indian academia, advocating for a more robust, transparent electoral system while fostering a deeper understanding of the democratic processes in the country. His work remains vital in shaping future generations of scholars and practitioners in the field of political science. With this brief introduction, I invite Professor Tilochan Shastri to deliver the Professor T. Karunakaran Memorial Plenary Lecture. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Tejasvi, for the rather kind introduction. And thank you, Mr. Athavan, for being here present. And a big thanks to NIT Warangal, of course, our dear friend, Professor Lakshman Rao, and Professor Tejasvi, and all other faculty and students at NIT Warangal. It is a great honor to be speaking in the Professor Karunakaran lecture series. I don't know whether one is qualified enough to do that. So ever since Lakshman Rao gave this invitation for 1 month, I have been preparing for this. So one thing I decided, with your permission, is that I will not use any PPT because then it goes back and forth. And whatever we are going to discuss today is unfortunately, it's not based on any academic work. It is based on 20 years or more of work in the field. So we started working on this in 1999 in a certain way, but more concretely in 2003 and 4. And for more than 20 years we have been doing this work. But I will not speak entirely about our work. but try to give a slightly broader perspective about one aspect of rural development, because rural development is a very, very broad subject and it's impossible to cover everything. So the thinking behind what we are going to discuss is the following, that India has the largest number of farmers in the world, or maybe touch and go with China. Sometimes China is a little more, sometimes less. That is more than 100 million farmers, with 10 crores. On average, if you take 5 people from per family, it is 50 crore people who are directly in farming and another 30-40 crores who are indirectly dependent on agriculture. So you can say 70 to 90 crore people in India out of 140 crores are directly or indirectly dependent on agriculture, and this is the single largest group in the country. And everybody eats food, and there is only one source that the food comes from, which is from agriculture and the farmers. So that is the scale of the issue. That's one of the reasons why we are talking about agriculture and farming. Although the numbers are coming down in terms of percentage, because more and more people are migrating to non-agricultural jobs and livelihoods, in sheer numbers the number is not really decreasing, because the population is also increasing. Number two is that the government also says that 80 to 90% of these farmers are in what in today's standards we still call poverty, because average land holdings are about 1 hectare, which is 2.5 acres. You know, last week somebody invited me to the United States, so there you ask somebody how much land do you have. I don't know, if you sit on the porch, you know, as far as you can see, that is our farm. I mean, they have hundreds and thousands of acres. So we have very small farmers. That is another issue. And then, of course, all this climate change and all which people have been discussing on and off, that erratic rainfall, a lot of crop failures, market, link with the farmers is not good. All the problems we all know. So that is the reason for discussing this. And that's the reason for actually our work also that we started. Now, since we are in Warangal, I wanted to mention a couple of things. Yesterday, I slightly misused the privilege that you people have given me and took the vehicle you had sent to visit the Mulkanur Cooperative Rural Credit and Marketing Society. I'll just say a few things about this. It is the original inspiration for our work. It is only 30 kilometers from here, and I would very, very strongly recommend that those who have some interest in rural development just go and visit it. But before I mention this, there are a couple of things, because yesterday also I had a chance to listen to some wonderful discussions. More and more I feel that some thinking like, why are we doing this? What is the purpose of rural development, that each one has to think for himself or herself. So there are some people who want to lead a kind of a lifestyle which is away from city and which is eco-friendly and all that, which is fine. I mean, that's also a good motivation. And there are some who are against capitalism and against so many other things. So they also want to do that. But there is an old-fashioned semi-religious, semi-spiritual thing which is out of simple compassion for the suffering of people. This is more based, that motivation for this work is mostly based on the third thing, that there are a lot of people who are in trouble. They are my fellow Indians, they are our brothers and sisters, and we should do something about it. Second attitude is that, you know, NIT is a very prestigious institute. Lakshman Rao is from an equally prestigious institute in IIT Madras. We are from elite institutions. Should we be thinking only of how to improve our personal life through some sattvic kind of life, or should we be willing to go to hell and suffer so that other people will benefit? It doesn't matter how much I suffer, but others should benefit. So why I am saying this is, then you start thinking large scale. If I think about my own peace of mind and my own life, then in a limited way you do something, locally I do something, that's it. But if you have that larger perspective, two people who come to mind is the Buddha and Vivekananda, they said Bahujana Hitaya, Bahujana Sukhaya. It will sound little arrogant that who the hell are you to think about the whole world? But we are privileged people, we are in privileged institutions, so why should we not think big? The long and short of it is, the perspective what I am going to say is, out of whatever you say, Loka the Buddha says that out of compassion for the world, that is the motivation, and it is a little ambitious, it is about large scale work, it is not about some chota mota work. I am not going to talk about that. So that is a perspective, and it's okay, I mean, some of you may not agree with it, but that's also alright. Now coming back to this, when we look at the issue of the farmers and how do we try to help them, who are we to help, all those questions are there. We will come to it if there are Q&A. You see, what do we learn from our own Indian history and from the history of other countries? Because for more than 20 years I have been fascinated with it. You find that in Europe, in the 19th century, Germany and America particularly, they started forming farmer cooperatives. The world's largest cooperatives today, largest agricultural cooperative in the world is in the United States of America. You must be having your mobile phone, CHS America. So, $40 billion. So one thing that comes is that why do these large cooperatives succeed in America? What is a cooperative, by the way? It is for the farmers, by the farmers, of the farmers. Simple and straight. That means it is owned by the farmers, it is managed by the farmers, and the benefit goes to the farmers. Of the farmers, by the farmers, for the farmers. That is what a genuine cooperative is. In India, we take some organization, call it a cooperative. It is managed by cooperative department, government of India, Manangati, this, that, intellectuals, policy makers. Nobody goes to the field and work. Either at the best, they will go to the field and collect data and write research papers. So this is more from the perspective of grassroots work done to enable farmers to do for the farmers, by the farmers, of the farmers. It is not some macroeconomic framework, but that is where the macroeconomic framework will come from. So that is the background. So when the question that came to one's mind is, when they succeed so well in other countries, why don't they work here? And we were so ignorant. Lakshman and I were roommates in Boston. We used to eat Dannon yogurt, sun-kissed orange juice, so many products we used to buy. Later on I discovered all of them are cooperatives in the United States. $100 million cooperatives. So akkada panchestundi ikkada enduku cheyadu? I mean, when they are working so well, why don't they work here? That is a $1 million question. So that I will leave aside, but one sentence what I will say is, because everybody is allowed to run a cooperative except the farmers. NGOs want to take charge, World Bank want to take charge, consultants want to take charge, governments want to take charge. So and so with 30 years of experience, such a great man, his grandfather was so great, that person is put in charge of something who has not achieved anything 30 years, that fellow is supposed to turn around things. How the hell will he, if he could have done it 30 years ago? We do not learn from our own experiences. Now the best experience in India is the Amul Dairy. Even on campus I saw some sign somewhere here on your campus. It's a 50,000 crore company. It's a cooperative. It is running for 70 years. It has the largest number of members in the world. But we don't want to learn from it. We go on making more and more new schemes. Right here next is another inspiring example, 30 kilometers away, which is the Mulkanur. So let me give a little bit of background about Mulkanur, and then we will reflect finally on how to make it succeed and how to make it happen, and all the technology, everything they come together. Whatever technology you want, once you have a strong cooperative, you can bring in sustainable agriculture, you can bring GPS and satellite based systems, you can bring apps, whatever technology you want, but first you need to have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000 farmers who can take advantage of it. You have to bring them together and they have to see the benefits by doing it themselves. So, the joy of the farmer is like, in a little silly example, when a child is learning how to ride the bicycle, they will fall. But finally, or even a baby, when the baby first learns how to walk, you look at the face of that baby, how happy he or she is. Because they feel, I have done something, I have achieved something. That is the feeling that the farmers get when you just sit and say, I have faith in you. You can do it. I'm telling you, you can do. But of course, we have a role to play, that I will discuss a little later. That joy that they get because they are able to manage is something which sustains, because they also get benefits. So Mulkanur was started in 1956 by Vishwanath Reddy, who was a college graduate of those days. There was no NGO, there was no World Bank, there were no researchers, there were no economists, there were no development experts. Nobody was there. He started it on his own because we forget that farmers also have wisdom. We think only we have wisdom because they have been to NIT Warangal. How can you say they don't know anything? They also know. So Vishwanath Reddy started this, and today I was amazed. It has 7,641 members. Their turnover is 330 crores. It's not a joke. It is profitable. I got it yesterday when I had gone there. In addition to the handsome price that they gave to the farmers for the rice, they distributed 11 crores 30,000 lakhs, 11 crores 30 lakhs of benefits to 7,000 farmers. You can do the arithmetic. In addition to the good price they are giving. They have petrol pumps, they have schools, they have input for agriculture, water pumps, all sorts of facilities they have. They do work on water, because water is a problem here. Everything, oil tankers, seed processing, rice mill, way bridges, all sorts of facilities they are giving. Now, how did this happen? So, I had the privilege of learning from two people, because I'm in Warangal, I mentioned the name. One was Mr. Ram Reddy, who used to run Cooperative Development Foundation, CDF, and another guru of mine called Shashi Rajagopalan, who also passed away, unfortunately, of cancer. She was from Tamil Nadu, but she spent all her life in Andhra, Telangana, and she also taught me how to set these up. So, the first thing is, again I go back, why do we want to do this? We have to think, why do we want to do this? It is simply so that at least some people will benefit from this. There is nothing else. There is no other big motivation. But all our knowledge, education, we have to bring to bear on that. That is the motivation. Number two, who is going to do it? Yes, there may be some fund, there may be an NGO, there may be a project, but from day zero we start by thinking that eventually the farmers will run it. I'll tell you why. Because all these fellows who come from outside, including people like me, we are not interested in poverty alleviation. We are interested in coming to the seminar and talking and saying what wonderful work we have done. What Badakunada Dastunada Sambandham ledu. That fellow is living or dying, I am not bothered. I want to show what great work I have done, so I am coming to the seminar. That is the motivation with which we work. Whereas that fellow is really interested in his own welfare. So we have to hand over charge to them. Now how do we do that? Hand over charge to them. Again, this is my personal thinking, you may not agree. It is psychological position we take. Do we have faith that the people can solve their own problems? If we have faith in ourselves, we will have faith in them. I don't have faith in myself. How will I have faith in that fellow? This is the problem we have. We don't believe that this is going to work. If you don't believe it is going to work, please think this is another lecture and forget about it. Go and do something else. If you believe, if you have faith in yourself, if you think farmers can do it, then let us discuss. That is it. Because this attitude with which we are doing, why we are doing, how we are doing, is very, very important. All the technology, strategy, tactics, planning, all that, all of us can do. We have all intelligence we can do. With the basic attitude we have to first think in our own mind. Then, so there is a prevailing paradigm in India that for poor people, we have to help them. Which means, give them some subsidy, give them some dole, kuchura babu, then annam pedtanu, please sit down, I will give you some food, all these kind of things we will do. But here what will do? Ulkanur does. They have got 17 crores of working capital which has come from the farmers. Every year 5% of money the farmer has to invest as share capital into this thing. So when he takes a loan of 40,000 rupees per acre, that is the limit, 5% you can calculate whatever it is, 2,000 rupees of share capital of the farmer is compulsorily taken. You can go. Because he is getting more than 2,000 rupees. So it is like when you put your share capital into a organization, it is nadi. It is mine. So I ask very bluntly to you have a village school, who owns a village school? Government order. Good in Bangalore, Devalayam. How is sir? That temple is ours. Why? They go house to house and collect money and they build a temple, so it belongs to them. Government school, socialism school, capitalism school, Manangati school, do-gooding school, so many schemes are there. So here the spirit is, if it is for the farmers, by the farmers, of the farmers, then they have to invest their money. This goes against the grain of all development thinking in India. Vishwanath Reddy showed how it can be done. Shashi Rajagopalan showed how it can be done. And the great Dr. Varghese Kurian showed how it can be done. Varghese Kurian used to say the best way to kill a cooperative is to give it subsidy. We can discuss why it kills it, because once the money comes, everybody is thinking on that subsidy money. And all kinds of chores and thieves and dacoits, and Indian brain is very clever. They will do over-invoicing, under-invoicing, they do this, they do that. Instead of 10 members, they show 10,000 members, get money from the government per member so much, eat it up, all sorts of clever things they are capable of doing. But if there is no money coming from outside, they cannot do that. I'll give you an example of this, because it's an important point, and most of you will disagree with what I'm saying, that the people's money should be put there. Last February, our farmers in Anantapur, second lowest rainfall in India, 400 murders, political murders, Karu Jilla, all sorts of problems. They set up a plant in Tadimari, 40 lakhs. So they came to me and said, sir, when Sahayan give us something. They know I will not give because we have been doing it for 20 years. So I asked him, what do you want? He said, we need 36 lakhs. I said, how many bags of groundnut will you get? Sir, 20,000 bags of groundnut will you get. Little overestimate, but anyway. So I said 40 lakhs divided by 20,000. 10,000 is 200 rupees. I said 200 rupees per bag of groundnut you have to give once in your lifetime. Is there a mobile phone there? I asked them bluntly. Is there 200 there? Does you get it for 200 rupees? So they all shut up. They gave the 200 rupees. They built the mill. It is running. It is doing more business than the other mill which was supported initially by some grant. Because when they have put their money, they वो हिंदी में बोलते हैं कि कुर्सी पे बैठने से नजाकत आ जाती है. Means कुर्सी में जब बैठे बुद्धिमान वस्तु automatic. If you sit on the chair, your brain means when you put your own money, your brain starts functioning. When you use other people's money, your brain doesn't function. The farmers start doing that. Of course, they have a role to play. We do linking with markets, all those things. All of you are capable of doing. It is the approach that for the farmers, by the farmer, of the farmers. Then the second thing is little bit of exposure is required. I'll give you an example. Our tribal farmers in Adilabad, some of them are supposed to be PTBG, all kinds of terms here. Primitive tribal group. Primitive, who is, am I primitive or is primitive, I don't know. But we have all these kind of terms. So I said, we took them to Hyderabad and we took them to one big shopping mall, food mall. So they're all, the tribal. Sir, Mama, local plans there, will they allow us to come in? I said, you come now. We went inside. I took them to the food section. I said, you go and see. So one fellow after some time, then he showed me one thing, we got dog food. and he could make out that it is something to do with soya. And it says that it was some 250 grams they were selling for some 200 rupees or something. So he said, well, kukal in the dabbi chi kontunara. I mean, for dogs they are buying this. I said, that's what I am telling you, boss. You are selling your soya for 30 rupees to some middleman. You have to set up processing units, you have to do this. You can make a lot of money. So that exposure makes them understand. And now you don't have to go to the shopping mall. You can show this to them here. I was sitting in Chaibasa in rural Jhansi, not Jhansi, Ranchi, just outside Ranchi. And I was trying to, they had their huge tamarind trees there, and most of the tamarind is eaten in South India, and they just go and they sell it to some middleman. So I showed them on big basket. They were stunned. I said, take this tamarind, remove this thing, remove the shell, small machines, 50,000, 1 lakh rupees, put it, clean it up, but you have to do it together as a group. So, or mustard oil, so many things they can do. But what I was amazed is, once you show them this, whatever English they know or don't know, every village has one smartphone in all over the country. Not everybody has, but 5 to 10 smartphones are there. Those young fellows, they have managed how to learn some English, something, they can understand that what is the price, what is this, how much it is. So that we have to expose them to what are the opportunities in the world out there. So let me stop with that marketing part and close with the other side, which is equally important from a larger perspective, which is about sustainable agriculture, organic farming, what you were talking about climate change, etc. So now there are many groups where technology is useful. But in technology, I always say, like Jesus Christ said, is Sabbath for man or man for Sabbath. This technology for people or people for technology, you have to figure it out, what it is being used for. So now this large parts of India, which all of you are aware of, I'm just highlighting the power of the collectives. The tanks have got silted up. So now they are bringing in the JCBs, removing the silt, etc. That silt is gold, they put it on the farm productivity goes up. When the rainfall comes, the groundwater gets recharged. Many of you know all these things. So now why it has picked up very fast in our area is for 2-3 reasons. One is he got the numbers slightly wrong. We are working with 44,000 farmers and keeps growing by a few hundred every few weeks. We don't do anything. So we get some corporate CSR fund because everybody, if you're a paint company, Coca-Cola company, polluting company, etc., you want to pretend that you are concerned about this, so they'll give you some 1 or 2 crores to go and do this tank presentation. So we have a friend who plays on their guilty feelings and gets some money. But the farmer's collective is the power because there's a lot of coordination required. When the JCB comes, that this thing is there, the tractors have to be lined up, the mud has to go immediately from there to there, the farmers have to be present and manage the whole issue because if you bring in outsiders, it will cost more and it will not. And the farmers are spending 75% of the money. And the payback period is 1 agriculture season. Because if he takes 5 tractor loads of soil from the tank and puts it on the farm, whatever money he has invested, whether he has his own money or borrowed from his neighbor or money lender, the first crop yield will repay that. So they are willing to do it. We are a little concerned about these very small and Dalit farmers. We are coming up with a scheme to help them a little bit, maybe a little bit of grants that may be required, but generally we don't give any grant. Now, because of the power of the organization, it increases. Now, you see, all these socialists and economists, they talk about macro things. So I'll give you an example of this MSP. MSP, 500 Punjab farmers died and the government had to take back the laws. I'm not getting into that discussion. But in our ground level, I'm telling you what the reality is. So suppose in Adilabad they announce an MSP, minimum support price for cotton, or in Anandapur they introduce for Seneca, that is groundnut. The reality is the following. The reality is the government will say it will start procurement on January 1st and it will continue for 30 days. And this is the MSP. and the centers are located there. When the farmer goes there, they will not want to procure from him. They will give him a rundown. And then he has to either sleep under the tree, wait for 2 days, or go back to his village. But of course, conveniently, there are other fellows. So that guy will not give him the MSP price, the fellow is sitting outside, he will give a deep discount. And he is linked with the same government babus and other socialists who are trying to help the poor, sitting there inside procuring this. So now some senior officers, they started hearing about this Raita Sangam. It's called by the name Satya Sai Raita Sangam. They said, why don't you manage these sectors? So every year there is a tussle, because the politicians don't want them to get, somebody else wants them to get. So out of 63 mandals, sometimes they get 5-10 mandals and say, you manage it. They procure 3 to 5 times the procurement of the government sectors. Because even if the farmer comes at 5 o'clock, they will finish everybody till midnight. Because there is our brothers and sisters who have come from the villages, they know what is the problem if we ask him to come back. They work till midnight and make sure that his receipt is cut, the produce is received. Similarly, seed distribution, there is a problem, there is a scheme for high quality seed distribution, and you all know what is the importance of seed. There also it is done through the government system. What they do is, they mix it with bad quality seed, divert the good quality seed and sell it in Karnataka and make money, black money. So again the same government said, so they are also doing, 1 year they did 40 crores of seed distribution, which multiplier effect is about 10 times, because one seed comes into 10 this thing. So the huge benefit to the, so whether it is government schemes or water and sustainable agriculture, we have started something on organic farming, which is quite big, but we use scientific organic farming. Basically, we ensure that the NPK content is good enough by using organic techniques and not depend entirely on vermicompost. It is vermicompost enhanced and it works very well. The cost is half of the chemical. So the point I am trying to make is that once you build people's organizations where people believe in themselves, then all other things happen. So many agri-tech companies, GIS systems, this system, that system, they all come now because they feel that if they can sell their product to 30,000 people, in another 27,000 people, why can't we do that? So bringing people together, building them up into a viable organization is the first and most important step. That is the platform. After that, everything else starts happening. So today our farmers are saying, I'll just close with this. See, somebody told us that why do you want to double their incomes? Why not increase their income by 10 times? Okay. That is a role that people like us from outside have to think. So I found that today a lot of young people, I don't know anybody, students are here, some of them go to gyms and they are into high protein diets. So if you look at whey protein, it is selling for 4,000 rupees. And if you look at vegan proteins, it is selling for 3,000 rupees. I went to some shops and actually bought those vegan. All the vegan proteins sold in India, more than $1 billion, are imported from the United States of America or from China. Nobody is making that protein isolate in India. Now we are making it. We have just got some funding, we are going to start making it. So this is can dramatically change the life of the people there, because from doubling income, and I will come back and close with this last thing about faith. See, you try to look at our Indian tradition and try to put it into the context of today's world. So I am a little bit of a fan of Vivekananda. So he used to say that we need a man-making religion. So what is man-making religion? What he meant is bringing out that I can do spirit. So he used to say that all the money in the world poured into one village cannot solve the problems of the people unless they become self-reliant. When I was much younger, it stuck in my head. That is the attitude. It is like my younger brother, if he is preparing for the 11th or 12th board exam, I am tough with him. Hey, if you don't study, you're going to trouble, but I can teach you. But I cannot write the exam for him. He has to work and he has to write the exam. Same thing with the farmers. We cannot do the work for them. So in the farmers' case, I tell them, how many, because now they're very happy. We just had a AGM, some 3,000 people came. I asked them, how long should this run? So what do you mean, sir? You see, our NGO may not last. We may run out of funds after 5 years to go. We have seen all the government schemes. They come and go. How long should your government? Sir, it should run forever. Then who will run it? So then we have to run it ourselves. You have to run it yourselves, then you have to learn how to do it, and we will help you to learn. And how much they have learned, I will stop with that. Flipkart is supposedly a big company. I'm not an admirer of Flipkart or anything, but they buy truckloads, huge crores of groundnut from our farmers. So we take the groundnut, we remove the shell, we sort it and grade it, and then we send it to them, and from 70 rupees the price goes up to something like 125, 130 rupees. Maybe now it has come down to 110. So they make decent amount of money. So the Flipkart, they are happy with the quality, so they came with 4 people, one of them could speak Telugu, they saw the and they said, why are you giving us only 5 crores, we should be buying 50 crores. I did not go for that meeting. So the farmer said, we'll be happy to give you 50 crores, but we have a condition. So what is that? He said, we have to sign an agreement. So what is the agreement? He said, if we go and procure 50 crores of groundnut and tomorrow you don't buy, then we will be in deep trouble. So you please, we will go get a lawyer, we will draft an agreement that we will procure 50 crores according to this term, only then we will proceed. So that much of business sense they have. NGOs don't have it, professors don't have it. Professors, if they knew how to do business, they would not be teaching. They cannot. The farmers know how to do business more than the NGOs. We have to enable them to do it. So let me stop here. I know I'm being a little preachy, but I'm a little passionate about this. I'm sorry for having made some little aggressive statements, but please take it in the right spirit. And thank you once again, NIT Warangal and Professor Karunakaran for this opportunity.
I thank Professor Trilochan Shastri sir for delivering an insightful lecture. Sir, your expertise on social entrepreneurship and rural development has definitely given a new perspective to all the audience here. I hope we take it forward into our future endeavors so that we make sure to understand what cooperatives actually mean and we work in that direction. Thank you, sir. Now I would request our President, Incam, Professor Lakshman Rao sir, and our organizing secretaries to kindly felicitate our plenary speaker for today, Professor Trilochan Shastri sir. So we can have a few questions from the audience if they want to interact with Professor Trilochan Shastri sir.
Thank you, Professor Lakshman, for that opportunity. See, nobody asks questions. It means you either agree with everything or... Yeah.
Sir, I want to do a mutually aided cooperative society for herbologists. So many people collect herbs from many places, and Ayurveda physicians are shortage of herbs. Though they are intended to prepare good medicines, and though they have good herbal formulations, they are unable to get proper herbs. So, but herbs are available in the forest.
This is possible because this Ayurvedic medicine is a very valuable thing and it is a growing thing. But you know, ours is a little commercial. Now the problem is, we Telugu వస్తుందా?
వస్తుంది సార్.
అన్ని ఉన్న వాళ్ళు డబ్బులు అవసరం లేదంటారు.
సార్.
కానీ రైతులకు డబ్బులు కావాలి. We who are privileged, who are professors, who get pensionable jobs, You say everything is not money, everything is value, this and that. I also talk like that in my personal life. But the farmers, they need money. It has to be made commercially viable. In దాని తర్వాత ఒక ప్రొడక్షన్ మార్కెట్ విల్ టాక్ ఆఫ్టర్ దిస్ బికాస్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఆపర్చునిటీ దేర్ బట్ we have to get sufficient number of people, farmers who can grow this together, and we have to, initially it is difficult, we have to convince them. So 10 రూపాయలు అనేవి, we have to put some money into it. We are not going to do it for free.
మన దగ్గర 200-300 మంది మూలికలు పెంచే వాళ్ళు ఉన్నారు సార్. ఒక 80 మంది గురువులు ఉన్నారు సార్. మూలికలు కావాల్సిన వాళ్ళు. కావాల్సిన టైంలో కావాల్సిన మూలికలు పెంచి ఇవ్వాలి.
I will only say this much at this time. There are many so-called Ayurvedic companies, whether they are good or fraud, I am not recommending them. From Dabur to Himalayan drugs to so many people, they are making hundreds of crores. But ultimately that herb is coming from the farmers.
Yes.
So we have to find out how they do it and do it. It is possible.
Okay. Thank you.
నమస్తే సార్, నా పేరు రవి, నేను చిత్తూరు జిల్లా నుంచి వచ్చాను సార్. మా వైపు మామిడి తోట,
చిత్తూరు జిల్లానే, తిరుపతి.
సో మా వైపు మామిడి తోటలు ఎక్కువ సార్. 2000 సంవత్సరం నుంచి ఎక్కువ అయ్యాయి. అంతకుముందు అన్ని రకాల పంటలు ఉండేవి.
If you speak in English, you know, everybody will understand.
Okay, so I came from the Chittoor district, Andhra Pradesh. So in our area, most of the farmers, till 2000 we have different kinds of fish, but after that we migrated towards the mango farming. So now we are all getting the mango yield very well, but the problem is marketing. So in local market, from still, I think from 2010 onwards I am going for the market. So there, from that time also we are selling 10,000 rupees per ton. Nowadays we are selling 10,000 rupees, same for the same price. So what kind of marketing strategy we can implement to increase our product prices, as well as even we have some societies, so still we are facing some kind of problems with the societies. The main problem is capital to run the particular societies. So government is giving some sort of subsidies, though those subsidies are not viable to run those societies. So is there any plans, is there any ideas to run those societies in a successful manner,
Yes.
to providing a better marketing strategies?
Yes. You see, we are actually running in Chittoor with 5,000 farmers, but that is one place where we are not succeeding well. It is our fault. Okay, we started off by doing 10 crores of business there. Now we are down to 50 lakhs. So the simple opportunity is, if I come out of my house in IIM Bangalore and go to Milakhalli on the road, he is selling mangoes today at 100 to 150 rupees, and the farmer is getting 30 rupees.
Less than that, please, sir.
Correct.
Even again, sir.
So there are it can be done. Let us discuss it. It is not very difficult to do. Fruits are very low hanging, and our team is now actually, of course, in a small scale, not for the whole of Chittoor district. We are selling, we have to sort and grade the mangoes, and we are selling directly. Now you see this technology we have to use.
Yes, sir.
So direct to home. So top quality you can sell in premium apartments in Bangalore for 300 rupees also.
Even I tried that once, sir. In the COVID time, I sold more than 1 ton organic mangoes to the
So
shop.
you have to have a system. Alone you cannot do. You have to have a system to do it. So we can work it out. It can be done. If the moment you say I need government funds, I'm scared.
No, I'm not asking government fund. I'm asking any better marketing strategies.
Yeah. So the strategy is what you have already tried, but we have to make it happen. So it can be done.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I had one small note, sir. So you were talking about technology just now. So how does our agricultural industry is on par with the other industries abroad in terms of technology adoption? Because even if they get a good price, when we divide it per capita basis, they're getting a very less money. Because the amount of human labor involved in agriculture is too high.
Yeah. So now see, the technology is important even in India, but that American kind of technology may or may not work. You see, they have large farms and high degree of mechanization and huge investments. We have to redesign that wherever required. I'm not saying required everywhere, for our conditions, and there is a lot of opportunity. Some is being done. Some of it is already being done. So, for example, I am not talking about socialism, capitalism, or what is good or bad, but for whatever reason, the labor situation in the rural areas has become very difficult, in the sense that either the labor rates are very high or labor is not available. So some small mechanization there, but not the American style. So that is where NIT Warangal and all these people, they have, so we have to study it from the customer or the farmer point of view and say what are those pain points which we can use technology to remove. Not sit in the lab and do, but first find out what is required there. It is very much required and it is very much possible. I'll give you one or two examples, very silly examples. You know, Sudha Murthy used to have a Infosys Foundation when she was the chairperson, a award called Arohan. So she says all technologies, like you're talking, are only for those who can pay. What about technology for those who cannot pay? So they got hold of, they gave some announcement and they got hundreds of applications. And they narrowed it down to 30 and they had a final jury. So I was in the jury for 4 years to look at those presentations. So I'll just give you two examples of that kind of technology, which unfortunately did not come from places like engineering colleges. One of them was a farmer. He was only talking in Kannada, which I can understand. So he was saying that they have a lot of problem of insects on the farm. The insects, they destroy the crops. And probably he was trying to be a little organic, I don't know what this thing was. So he was wondering what to do. Then he says, you know, in the villages also they have some hotel. So they have this light, blue light. And, you know, they put some tube light and all the insects go there. They don't come and bite the people. So he started using that. He designed a system for his farm where such lights, solar developed lights were there. The insects used to go there and he put a tray of water and if they died they would fall in the water and the plants were being protected. Now, because he's a farmer, he has understood that the pain point. But we don't understand this. We want to build some app. Beyond app, we are not able to think. Every technology is building an app on this damn thing. Manakati, I call it. One more app, there are 10,000 apps. Bakwas. You don't need app. Or some satellite-based GI system. But this is also a technology. There is another fellow who came from Rajasthan. He Hindi mein bol raha tha. He did not speak English. So there is a certain way of growing onions. And when you have to harvest them, so there is one way where they have ridges, and one in his area it was flat. They didn't have ridges. Now when you have to remove them, during the season, all the Rajasthani labor have gone to Gujarat or Punjab or somewhere, nobody is available. So he designed something which you can put on the tractor, which goes like this. And it has to be very balanced. It should not go too deep, it should not go too shallow. And after a lot of experimentation, he worked it out. Now he doesn't know how to convert it into a commercial venture so that you can harvest the entire onions from that whole field, in half an hour, 1 hour, or whatever it is. So these kind of, we have to go and study the issues and then find a solution. Now even this Mulkanur rice mill, it is some 50 years old and I respect it. But nowadays many rice mills are coming. Why can't we have a rice mill, if not in every farm, in every gram panchayat or in every village, we can have a rice mill. The rice mill technology we don't worry about. Sugar also same thing. Why do we need such huge sugar mills? Of course, sugar is another subject, whether we should grow sugar cane or not. But I'm saying all these things we have to look at. This is a low-hanging fruit and it can make a big business. Kannan is sitting there. Where is Kannan? So he has designed for cotton, a very small thing which today morning I was talking to him. He said 200 crores. Instead of that, for 2 crores he is able to build a cotton machine. So a lot of things have to be done. This is only we can do it. We cannot depend on imported technology. We have to do it in our country and the great opportunity today. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Trilochan. Just wondering, because you had the rare opportunity of being taught by TK.
Being what?
Being taught by Karunakaran.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So, any reminiscences you have? Because I think much of this generation have not had an opportunity to interact with him.
Very nice question. See, we were teenage BTech students in IIT Delhi and very young and little foolish also. But I'll tell you what I remember. Professor Karnakaran, firstly, was very short, as he also knows. He was very baby-faced in the sense he looked like a PhD student rather than a professor, and he was an assistant professor and very young in those days. The other thing is he used to teach us systems engineering in a very practical way. So most of our classes, the professor would come, and I was in electrical engineering, and del cross E is equal to something, and Maxwell's equations and all sorts of things were on the board. He would come with some practical thing to the class, even including things like kerosene stove, and from there start discussing what is system design. So he was very hands-on and very practical and grounded. And number two, what I found is that very cheerful, and he was very popular with the students. They all liked him very much. And another impression which stays for a long time is very highly value-driven. All of us are from engineering colleges. The students all cheat. They cheat in their exams, they cheat now using artificial intelligence, maybe the sophisticated ways, or they cheat from each other in the exam or in the assignment. He would not tolerate that. He was very clear that we have to be very honest in the way we deal with these kind of issues. But that's very long ago, it's nearly more than 35 years ago. So that's what I remember. But maybe people like Lakshman Rao and all who have interacted with him more can add to that. So thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for answering our audience questions. So now I would request President ISAM, Professor Lakshman Rao, sir, and our okay, 1 minute.
While they were coming up, apart from Professor Karnakaran, there were two professors who inspired me. So I'm just saying this because there are many professors here. One of them was our teacher in same IIT Delhi called Kiran Seth. So you might have, interacted. Kiran Seth is the founder of Spic McKay. And I used to think, this guy is a professor and he is doing an all India national kind of work. How is it possible? And the other one who inspired me and still inspires me is a lady called Shanta Sinha, who's from our Telangana only. She started the MV Foundation, Mahavadi Venkatarangaya Foundation, and she put 10 lakh children back to school, what they call child labor. Back to school. She became chairperson of the Child Rights Commission for 3 terms. She was also instrumental in the Right to Education Act. Wonderful thing she has done. So I said, I was so interested in doing some work. I used to go and meet somebody. I was teaching in IIM Ahmedabad. Who is somebody doing something? I used to go and meet that person. I met Ram Reddy, Shashi Rajagopalan, Vijay Mahajan, Shanta Sinha, Kiran Seth, anybody, Bablu, Medha Patkar, Aruna Rai. I used to, like a mad fellow, I used to go and meet everybody, and I still admire all of them. But the idea was that what can I do? And you learn more from directly going and seeing the work of outstanding. All the people I have named are outstanding. Now there are some younger people who are even more outstanding than some of them, like my friend Abhay. So when you go and see, Kandara Juste Namakam Ustundi, when you go and see with your own eyes, then you have faith in that. So my request to the younger faculty and even the students is, be hungry and be like a sponge. Go and meet inspiring people who are doing outstanding work. There are enough of them. And if you send me an email, I will give you names and contacts of 10 outstanding people. Over the next 1 year, make a plan. I'm going to visit these 10 outstanding people. Because that inspiration is what drives you to work. It's not all these seminars and work. When you see some outstanding person, then you feel, yes, I too can do, I should also do.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Lakshman Rao sir and our organizing secretaries. So with this, we have come to an end of Professor T. Karnakaran Memorial Lecture. Now we will have a tea break, which will be followed by invited lectures, technical presentations, and a symposium in the seminar hall complex. I request everyone to join us for tea at the seminar hall complex. Thank you.